So based on the past discussions, I thought of a product and I have made a storyboard of how the product could be used. So the product is about a study companion robot. What if we can teach robots, robotics, technology, or AI, machine learning, things like the concepts like this through robots? The robot can also guide in teaching other subjects as well. But yeah, I'm just thinking if we can teach mainly AI robotics through robot. Um, yeah, is it's just a starting idea, and so this is the kind of concept. I think you already have told about this. It's actually the idea that you have also mentioned in EF in the starting, like that you proposed to EF. So yeah, so so let me go through the storyboard. So there, say there is a student and a robot in a room. So the robot can introduce itself, saying a hi or something like that. So there's some sort of social interaction between the robot and the human, the child. Now the teacher walks into the room and she gives a task, say to build a line follower robot or something like that. The robot is observing this particular conversation, the scene. It tries to understand what the teacher is asking for. So now the parts are being given to the child to build the robot, and the child looks at the parts, probably think of how to start off or build the robot. Now I'll be talking about two different cases, which will be showcasing the different behaviors of the robot. Uh, so in case one, say the child knows how to build the robot, or the child itself figured out how to build the robot, and he or she builds a robot. And At this point, the robot would be really observing the child, the actions that the child has been taking, and the behaviors. So studying about the behaviors of the child, things like that, through its sensory systems. After completing the task, the robot can appreciate the work of the child and probably even encourage to try it out or do the next appropriate action. So based on this conversation, the child might place the robot on the line and try to run the code and see if it's working. This whole scene has again been observed by the robot and found it to be like the most important moment, and it can record it or take a photo or video of it for sharing. After this, the robot may even appreciate the work, and which would be very encouraging for the student. Yeah, and the photos and videos can be shared with the parents, and the analysis which has been done on the student can be shared with the teacher in a form of reports and graphs. In second case, we will see how the robot will handle difficult situations. Let's say the child doesn't know where to start, and or confused about what are the different paths which are given to the child. Let's say the student is coming up with a question, and so the robot can actually think about it and think about the intentions of the question, or it can be straight away giving the answers from the pre-programmed manner, or which is pre-programmed by instructors or the teachers, or it can extract the information from the internet and provide it to the student. So there are multiple ways in which the robot can react to those kind of situations. So in order to reply to the student, the robot can actually show a demo of the video, probably. So let's say the student asked like, what is it about? So the robot can show the demo video of how a line follower works, and things like that. And say based on these conversations, the students start to build the robot, and in between he's stuck with some sort of problem, and the robot is able to understand or realize this. The robot can aid or suggest like, why don't you use these kind of parts, or things like that, which would help the student to further continue build the robot, and Yeah, it's a form of teaching or learning for the child and the robot. Yeah. Say the child has doubts about how to use a particular part, the same way the robot can actually provide informations about how to use it, how to put it together through some sort of demo video. Say the robot notices that the child is losing interest, it can give encouraging words saying that you've already completed 60%, it's just a remaining yeah, 40% which is left. You can do it, things like that. Such kind of encouraging words or encouraging behaviors can be encoded into the robot. Say there's a situation where the robot cannot handle a problem. It could be problem like the student is misbehaving or having some other problems, or the robot doesn't know the answer to it, or things like that. So it can actually give a live update to the teacher, and teacher might guide the robot to handle it, or even the teacher can like they themselves can come and help the student. And yeah, and end of it, the robot as usual can actually give a report of the student, the strengths, weaknesses, and other analysis that the robot did on the student. Yeah.